Good evening, all. And yes, again, I'm welcoming everyone officially. And this is Trisha from SRMIC Ramapuram. I'm doing my BA English Literature, and I would like to give a short overview on Wisdom Arcadia itself. So, this platform, this literary community, it is literally created for book lovers and people who are passionate about literature, history, philosophy, every other field that literature encompasses. So I'm really happy, and I would like to give a shout out to my fellow core committee members, Jai Krish, Sashi, and then Haripriya. And I would also like to extend my support to Shobhan and these people. They have been a pillar of support for us. So thank you so much. And yeah, this book review forum is our main program, and this encompasses of people who would like to express themselves about the books they read and loved. So yes, thank you so much for participating in this forum. And now I would like to invite Shobhan to take over the forum.
Yeah, thank you, Trisha, and good evening, everyone. I'm Shobhan. I'm studying literature in Loyola, and I'm very much happy to be a part of Wisdom Arcadia. And to start our event, firstly we have Jay Krish from Loyola, who's going to present Ernest Hemingway's *The Old Man and the Sea*. Over to you, Jay Krish.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Is my video visible and my audio audible?
Yes, Jay Krish.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So just give me. All right. A very warm and a very good evening to everyone who's watching. I hope you're all having a really good Sunday. So yes, now we shall talk about the novel, The Old Man and the Sea. It's not a novel when I say it, it's a novella. Now, what do I mean by novella is that it's a short novel. It's kind of a long short story, but it also is a short, novel. So yeah, you might have come across novellas like, Animal Farm. And so actually this particular novella, this was, I remember very well, this was the first ever book that was recommended to us by our teachers on the first few days, of our first years. So yes, this book was my introduction to hardcore mainstream literature, like proper literature. All right. So yes, there was a curiosity, for me. As soon as I heard the title, they told me that it's about an old man and the sea. Now I was thinking, what could it possibly, uh, what could possibly happen in a book with an old man sailing in the sea, fishing, well, to be honest, in all actuality, in the action sense of a piece of literature, there is nothing much that takes place. But then when you delve deeper and you do not just stop with the surface level and you go in, interpret further, it becomes a metaphor for so many different things in life. So, this kind of a novel was written by Ernest Hemingway. He was an American author. Uh, this guy Hemingway is really famous for doing this type of stuff. As in, most of his works, he's really famous for his short stories as well as this book. He often includes a lot of autobiographical. His characters are often based on his own experiences in his own life. So, yes, The Old Man and the Sea is a short novel on a long journey of this man into the sea. All right, I'll just try my best not to spoil too much of the story for you guys, but the plot is basically an old man. This old man is super unlucky. And when I say super unlucky, he's really unlucky. He has, what do you call him? For a fisherman, you might expect him to catch fish every day and live, make his livelihood. This guy does not catch, I mean, the fish do not hop into his net. What can I say? the guy is extremely unlucky. He's not able to acquire a single fish for a total of 84 days. This is a very, this is what we are told in the very beginning of the novel. And then now, credit to the old man, he still believes in himself and he still goes into the sea for fishing. And what ensues after that is the novel. And this novel has so many different interpretations. It's one of, from my personal experience, it's one of the novels from which you can decipher so much. At the surface level it might not really exist, as in the given element might not exist, but yeah, it is open to interpret. It is a very interpretative kind of a novel. All right, let's just delve into it now. The elements, before going into the literary elements, I'll just point out one very interesting observation I made. So yeah, I love sports and I really love watching cricket, football, and whatever goes on in star sports. Yes, so this whole story, this this manifested, the story manifested itself to me like a test match, like a cricket test match, between two teams. Test matches are usually, I'm not sure if all of you cricket nerds here like me, but then anyway, I'll just explain. Test matches are usually long drawn out affairs, like 5 days, 4 or 5 days the match takes to complete. And in this test match, it is not only a measure of skill. It does not only test one's skill, it also tests various other things: perseverance, sportsmanship, and things like that. So this whole story, to me, it appears as if it was a long drawn out test match. The test match was played between the old man and the fish in this stadium called the Sea, and this stadium apparently has like the worst conditions ever. Now he has several obstacles while fishing. I've not personally gone fishing myself, but the people I have seen fish, or fishermen in general, they seem to have a lot of challenges in the sea. As in, there is so much that could go wrong when you go for fishing. For example, like the old man, you might not get any fish. Even if you do get some fish, there might be a storm on the horizon. Fishing is a very, it's a very, it's a very dramatic occupation, if you ask me, because when fishing, one learns a lot of things, not just as an occupation, but also as a hobby. All right. So yeah, this test match metaphor is something that struck me, and I found it really interesting. Uh, all right. Now moving to the novel itself, the literary form of the novel. I just told you guys it's a novella and it's a very short story, and I believe that these kind of novels are the best form of literature. Now, what do I mean by best form of literature? Of course, there is no what do you say, per se good or bad literature, and it's all open to interpretation. But in my opinion, a librarian, his primary job is to convey a message or emotions, or you know his or her job is to convey a story to the readers, to the audience. Now, you may have read all novels that have 600, 700,000 pages. Tolstoy, I'm looking at you. uh, but yeah, when you just look at these books, you get startled. Not just when I was a beginner, even now I do get startled by those large books. But it is very challenging as a reader to invest so much time and so much so much time into a novel. It is hard as a beginner, in my opinion. And these short novels, it is really difficult to convey a very sophisticated story in a very short manner. As in, uh, in my opinion, a very good librarian is one that conveys his story or his emotions in the most vivid details, but with the shortest, the most, the shortest number of words. Does that make sense? So yeah, in my opinion, these short novels I prefer much more than these long drawn out novels. Okay, so moving into the story itself, this old man, he doesn't he is old and he is alone. There are a lot of quotes in the book itself about being about encountering solitude in old age. So there is so much to talk about from that perspective. And there is this little boy called Manolin. Now Manolin is uh, basically a kind of a disciple figure to this old man, and every time the old man goes out to fish, or this boy basically accompanies him. He's like his number one fan. And yeah, the little boy, he serves as a recurring motif in the book. Now what do I mean by that is, whenever this old man is stranded in the sea, his mind goes back to the little boy, and he'll be like, I wish the little boy was here, and so on and so forth. Now this little boy is the old man's only companion, who empathizes with him, who understands him, who does not just simply mock him and call him an unlucky guy. He supports him. They do bond over this very interesting hobby of baseball. This baseball is also another metaphor in this book, because uh, the protagonist, he resonates with a baseball player called DiMaggio. Now, this DiMaggio is portrayed in this book as some kind of a goat of baseball. And this old man reads about DiMaggio from the newspapers, and he gets really inspired by this guy. Like, this guy this guy is really good. And whatever his exploits are on the baseball field, the old man gets inspired by all that. And whenever there is a challenging moment that the old man comes across, he seeks inspiration from this said baseball player. So this novel also has an example of how we might seek inspiration from things that uh, might look unrelated to the outside world, but to us it resonates a lot inside. Now, to tell a personal example, I've there's the seasonal flu going on, and I have unfortunately contracted it. Now, at this time, I really loved reading O. Henry's short story, The Last Leaf. Now, those who have read that story might understand what kind of an effect that it has on an individual who's been kicked to the ground, who's in that story the protagonist is sick, and therefore yeah, if you know the story, so yeah, seemingly unrelated things actually make an impact in a person's life and in whatever they do. All right, now talking of recurring motifs, this that I don't want to stuff you guys with too much and not uh, all right, but I'll just talk about this last one image. There is this image of lions on the beach. Now, whenever this old man like closes his eyes or sleeps, he gets this dream of a few lions walking on the beach. You know, the kind of stuff they show on National Geographic on these safari channels and all. Now, when these lions walk apart, they are signifying the old man's, well, he is an old man, and of all the things that have been taken away from him, the most striking thing would be, his youth, his energy. As youth, we all have a lot of energy to be passionate about things, a lot of energy to, explore stuff, join Zoom meetings and discuss about books, things like that. So these lions, they are symbols of all that has been taken away from the old man. And this old man is also a very heroic character. And when I say heroic character, I mean that in the Aristotelian sense. Now, when you look about Aristotle's description of drama and tragedy and heroism, his heroes and tragedies are these, superhuman characters who are put on a pedestal, but they have this one tragic flaw, the hamartia. So this old man, his particular weak point is this pride that he has. the one of the seven deadly sins itself, pride. Right now, we all know how what do I how do I phrase this? Okay, pride is something which the old man has in abundance, as in that is the propelling factor for him to go into all those deep sea adventure, I mean, into those voyages to catch the fish. And obviously, a normal person who would have not caught 84 fish for 84 days, he would have definitely given up. But not this fisherman. This fisherman, I don't I mean, just to prove everybody else who called him an unlucky person wrong, that pride that he had, that alone propelled him. And in the end, if you read the story, you might discover that this is what it doesn't necessarily cause a downfall, but you'll get it when you read the story. And this, one funny thing I found out is that uh, he dreams of prides as in a group of lions of pride. And this is a very subliminal message left by the author. It is down to us to decipher. All right. And this old man, he always, there's a lot of self-talk. He talks to himself about, come on, you can do this. It's just, one more day, hold on, you will definitely catch a fish, and things like that. So this old man has a lot of self-talk. And to be honest, I learned a lot from this book, as in, uh, it served as a kind of a guide to life. Apart from the obvious survival skills that this novel has, it also has tools for us to survive in this modern day competitive society. And the last thing that I would like to this one is kind of an observation, a personal observation. I have been drawn to books that talk about old people, the solitary life that old people live and things like that. Even 2 weeks ago, I had talked about the book The Sense of an Ending, and that book is also very similar in the way that the protagonist is also an old man. All his youth, his energy leave him, and yeah, it is his journey on coping to life without all those things, without attachment towards his family. Even here, the old man does not have any kind of family. And yes, we had this discussion in class in last week in my college with one of my professors. We were talking about this gerontology is like it is the study of old people. And it is also one of the research areas in English literature. I don't want to get too technical, but yeah, I found out that I was really drawn to it. So, yes, this novel taught me so many things, and I would really recommend to you. This would not take up too a lot of time. Uh, do read this novel though. It's a very interesting a novella. It's very interesting. It's very insightful. There's a lot you can interpret apart from the whole story has not been written by Hemingway. That is one thing that if there is one point for you guys to take home from this review, it is that Hemingway does not write the whole story. Hemingway only gives us a part of a story, and the rest of the story is up to us to decipher, to find out, to resonate with with respect to our own life experiences. It is that kind of a novel. It is kind of one of these diaries they sell, slam books, wherein half of the things are given and half of the things you'll have to fill in. So I guess that is one thing I would like to iterate as I conclude my talk. All right, so I'll just conclude as usual, with one of my favorite quotes from the novel. Now there is no time to think of what you do not have. Think of what you can do with what there is. Yes, The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Everyone, this is Jay Krish. Thank you so much for listening, guys. If you do have any questions or anything to discuss, please let me know. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Jay Chris. I guess you explained the novel very beautifully, and I really like the part. I didn't want to spoil the new reader's experience, and you didn't just explain the novel, but you also included just your thoughts and experience. I really loved it, Jay Chris. And if anyone wants to ask any questions or if you want to appreciate Jay Chris or want to clear your doubts, the forum is open. Yeah, on that note, we shall move on to our next reviewer. Up next, we have Ritika Sendil Kumar from SRM Ramapuram, who's going to talk about Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Over to you, Ritika.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Wisdom Arcadia, for giving me this opportunity to review my favorite book. I'm going to be reviewing a book called Twilight, and it's my favorite book by Stephanie Meyer. I'm starting with Isabella. Isabella and her parents divorced. Um, she has a stepfather, and he has a game coming up. So Bella decides to stay with her father. And during the first day of her schooling, Bella's father gives her a truck from his friend, and he has a son called Jacob. He is also a main character, but not in this book. And during her first day, she finds a friend called Jessica, and she gives a small introduction about the schools and everything. And that's how she gets to know about the Cullens and his foster kids, Cullen, the Edward. There are five members. Rosaline and Emma, they are a couple. Alice and Jasper, they are a couple. And Edward is single. And during her first year of first class, she is instructed to sit beside Edward, but he is like behaving very abnormally, like moving, no, not coming nearer, like moving, like that side, opposite side, like that. After that, he walks away and asks the receptionist, "Is there any other classes that I can attend?" She tells no, and he walks away. After 2 weeks, he will come back and he is like trying to build a conversation with Bella, asking like how is the weather, and she will tell that I hate wet thing and wet stuff. I don't really like, and he'll joke about then why did you come to the wettest continent in the world, like that. And she will tell him about the parents' divorce and everything, and he is like very curious about her. At the start, I don't know why, like at the beginning he behaved very abnormally. Now why he is very interested like that. After that, finishing only, I get to know that why he is like that. So after that, Bella and Edward will be having a conversation. Edward will tell that we can't be friends after some days. It can't happen. It shouldn't happen like that. Bella also like accepted, like like he's not giving a definite answer for her. She has a lot of questions, but he's not giving answers. During in the parking lot, Bella will be standing near a truck, and Edward will be standing near his truck, like a car on the opposite side. A guy loses control over his car and tries to hit Bella. Edward runs really, really in a fraction of a second. He will push the car, but he was in the opposite side. Bella is trying to, process everything, but she can't understand what it is. And Edward will leave without anyone knowing. Only she saw Edward. Nobody saw. Um, she'll be taken to the hospital, and the Edward father, no, the Cullen, Mr. Cullen, he is the doctor there, and she tells that he only saved me. If he is not there, means I'd be dead by now, like that. And after that, she asks him that questions. How are you so fast? You were there. He is telling like, no, I was beside you. No, I was not near my car, like that. He's trying to manipulate. She knows, but that um like he does that, just say sorry and get over with it, like that. But she's not ready to leave it. After that, Bella will be stuck in a remotely place. She was planning to have dinner with her friends. Uh, During that, she will face some bullies there, and Edward will come and save her. She asked that, "How do you know?" "I just had a feeling," like that. He will say. While they are there, the friends already had dinner and they were like ready to move out of the restaurant. And Edward says that I will make her eat, like that. So when they are inside, she will ask the questions, why so fast? And that time he tells that he can read minds. I can read everyone's mind in this restaurant except yours. That's what is making me very curious, like that. After that, they were ready to leave home. During that time, she touched Edward's skin. It was ice cold, not even cold. It was ice cold. Not a human being's hand will be that cold. So she connected the dots and researched. She did many research and finally found out who he is. He takes Edward to the forest and she tells him to his face, I know who you are. And he tells that, then say it out loud. He will tell. She tells that you are a vampire. And he asks her to ask the first question, the basic question is, what do we eat? He is just trying to scare Bella because he wants her to back off. He knows that she has feelings for him and he has feelings for her too, but he wants to back off. He wants her to back off because he knows that he is a danger to her, but she is not ready to leave. And at last he will say that I might even kill you. Like, I might even kill you. But she said that no, you won't kill me. Like that. They will get into a relationship and Edward is ready to introduce Bella to his family. And everyone will accept Bella there. And Edward, he's immortal. He can't die. He is like in a 17-year-old body, but he's he's hundreds of years. He's a age of 100. So they are there, but studying for a many years. So nobody is there to accept. You know, is if they get to know Edward means they will not leave their family to live there. So that's why they're hiding their identity and staying there. And everyone in Edward's family are vampires, and everyone is ready to accept Bella except Rosalind. She thinks that Bella is a threat or a danger to their family. And eventually, Bella, Edward, and his family are deciding to play a game in the forest, a baseball game. And Edward wants Isabella's father's permission to get to play a game with them. So he gives permission. During their playing, they will attract some other bad vampires. They are good vampires. They only, like the Cullen family, they only drink the animal's blood, but not the human blood. But the bad vampires, they only drink like human's blood. So they will attract the bad vampires during when they are playing. So they found out Bella is a human. They will try to attack her, but they no the Edwards family, they are very fast. They escape from there and they are trying to protect Bella, and they will take her to the Florida, the city she came from. And the bad vampire, he will threaten Bella with her mother, that like he will kill her like that. So he will ask her to come to the opera house, but the opera house, because Alice and Jasper, they already saw what is going to happen. Alice has the power to see the future, so she already saw that the opera house is there. So she has went there without telling anyone, but Alice knows. So everyone was fighting, and the bad vampires and the good vampires, they both were fighting, and they killed the bad vampire. After that, Bella is very like badly hurted. Edward takes her to the hospital. When she wakes up, she asks her mother what happened, and her mother tells that she fell down from the stairs. She knows what happened, but she wants to know what her mother thinks. Like, does she know the truth or not? So after some days, when she's all right, she just has a fracture in a leg. Edward and Bella goes to the prom, to the dance. So while they are dancing, he will like ask, I'm a danger to you. Do you still want to stay with me?" Like that. At that time, she will tell that like, I love you. What more do you need? He tells that it's more than enough. Like that. That's how the story ends in the first book. There are still 3 books in the Twilight series: the Twilight New Moon, the Twilight Eclipse, and the Twilight Breaking Dawn. I love like the every book equally. I don't like I love every collections of Twilight. I love how Stephanie Meyer built the characters and the characterization. I really love like how creative it is to make a immortal and a immortal and a human being. You know the story and the plot. I love how the story goes through into the entire you know the story. So this how the first book ends, but The first book is okay, but the second book is more awesome, and the last part, I really love it. It's up in the last part, they will have a family together. I don't want to spoil much, but like it will have a finishing. I When I read the last book, I had a satisfaction. Like, okay, it was worth my time, and I really loved every single time when I was reading it. So this is my review, and thank you, Wisdom Arcadia, for giving me this opportunity to review my very favorite book. And thank you, Dr. Olivan sir, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you.
Thank you, Ritika. You reviewed the book very beautifully and explained it very detailedly. And I hope in upcoming days you review the next two parts too. And now, if anyone wants to ask question or appreciate her work or have any doubt, the forum is open for you to ask question. Uh, on that note, we shall move to our next part. Now, I invite Trisha to introduce our chief guest.
Thank you so much, Shobin. You did such an amazing job. And yeah, so now moving on. Before I, go on with the introduction, I would like to say the reviewers did such an amazing job with your review, and I really, really enjoyed it as well. So yes, now moving on, I would like to, welcome Dr. Chandri Sarkar Mitra. She is an assistant professor and she's working in Anna Adarsh College for Women, Chennai. So yeah, the thing is, she has said when we asked her to send something to introduce herself, information, she said she sticks to the old belief that TV is actually useless. And the thing is, given the oversaturation and quality in the TV programs and movies and series especially, so it is very understandable, ma'am. So I'm on your side, and she has also such an avid reader. She Whenever she feels lonely, she reads books, and it's like I can relate to you so much with that. The thing is, I have done so many reviews for this forum, and I'm also like a huge, huge, huge bibliophile. So yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing this event. And yes, I would like to welcome you to give your special address.
Am I audible, Risha?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Very good evening to all of you. And it was really wonderful to witness, you young, avid, voracious readers talking about these classics and one of the bestsellers of contemporary times. So like I had said, and Trisha, you also read out, yes, since childhood, my mother had taught me that this TV is an idiot box. And even I felt when we sit and watch the TV, what do? We actually sit and watch others perform. And I each time I said, then am I not doing any work? Do I have nothing to do but sit and watch? Instead, if you get into this wonderful territory of reading books, there is so much we can accomplish besides the intellectual hunger that is satisfied. You develop your language, your vocabulary, and more so, you students of literature who's taken up this. Now we know with the AI coming in, a lot of originality automatically goes away. Me being a professor and sitting at the other side, getting to know what this young generation chooses to do when there is an assignment given. So it is reading that will undoubtedly help uh, anybody who is pursuing literature, also has this passion for the English language, which is this hugely popular global language. And it will probably cease to be, no matter what other foreign languages come with so many number of speakers that we have in English. Coming to the two books and the book reviewers, Jay Krish and Ritika. So it was so nice to hear. I will start with Jay Krish, who spoke about this classic that all of us know, The Old Man and the Sea. And we had done that during our undergrad days. And we realized, that at that time it was American literature. Each time, one thing I realized, that if you go back to a book in different phases of your life, perhaps a few of you will choose to do that. When you go back to a book in different phases of your life, it will have a different meaning. I liked what Jackrish said, that I don't know, I am, caught towards books which actually deal with these old men. He spoke about this novel and the sense of an ending. Yes, Hemingway himself being one of the expatriates, like how Gertrude Stein called them the lost generation. This book is so much about endurance. This book talks that, the very fact that man can definitely be destroyed but not defeated. And that is what we learn when, you're looking at nature with all its obstacles, and how as human beings, we are such puny creatures in front of this gigantic nature that we have, be it the ocean, be it the skyline, which is limitless. So there is so much of learning, and each time you read a book, there are so many takeaways, because it leaves you to reflect so much. You choose on a character, you think about mm, the language, the themes, the imagery. As literature students, we are all, we've been taught to do that. We learn so much from a writer's perspective. We understand. Sometimes we have these open-ended novels or novellas, like Jackrish said, that the author, he has only done part of the job. And then Hemingway wants you to go ahead, right? So that was excellent. And secondly, when I did this little bit of background, I was introduced to this book, the Book of Twilight. I will tell you, I was introduced to this entire saga via my daughter, and who's, of course, close to your age, maybe 1 or 2 years junior to all of you. And she had used to watch this series, and she said, Mama, please watch it. And it is so good. And I always feel, I think our profession helps us do that. We are in touch with you people, the younger generation. And that is why we are always, we know what is happening, though aging, but mentally we are all together. So when I saw this beautiful series, I had read somewhere that the author Mays, very similar to Rowling's story, was actually rejected a couple of times before this had come out. Probably there is always this uncertainty that so much of imagination and creativity and the unbelievable things like vampires and fairies will actually work. But we see the the strength of Harry Potter series, which is going on for generations and will continue to go. Similarly, the Twilight Saga and all the books that Ritika mentioned, the 3 other books. So all this talk of the that let go of the imagination, and only when you read, you enjoy so much. It's you. It's nice that you have created a community where you people understand one another. You read, you realize, you share your views. That means so much. So I was very happy to be a part of this session where two very young and enthusiastic book reviewers did such a good job. And I thank for Oliver Nansar and all the rest of you for giving me this opportunity to sit and listen to and enjoy. Hope you have many more such sessions and continue to do this brilliant job that your team is doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your words mean so much to us. And yes, ma'am, like you said, I agree with you so much. The thing is, even my mother, she really, really inculcated the habit of reading from a young age. And yes, even though I had access to TV, I would prefer reading over that anytime. So I'd say reading does it gives us so much knowledge. And for me, I survived my life through reading books, because I had no access to internet until, I guess, 12th standard. I didn't have any access, and through and through I only read books. So yeah, and like you said, revisiting books in a different phase of life, it gives such a new perspective. There was this book I revisited again, which was, I think it's very cliche, but the Vikram and Vedal stories. It's a classic only for me, though it is seen as a children's fiction. I'd say it has so much moral ethics and values. I mean, it is explained so beautifully through those stories. So when I read it, those I was like, it wasn't like this when I read it. It was such much more, maybe because of the surface level understanding I had in childhood. I couldn't get the complete meaning out of it, but now I saw there were so many suggestive meanings which I had, missed out as a child. So it's very refreshing, ma'am. And also, like you said, our reviewers are very enthusiastic, and for that I'm also very thankful for them too. And yeah, ma'am, thank you so much for gracing our event and accepting our invite. It means a lot to us. So yeah, ma'am, thank you so much. And now I would like to thank everyone. Thank you so much for patiently listening to us, listening to these reviews. And it means a lot to us, because now we are still in the beginning phase. We still have a lot more to do, and this is just the beginning. So thank you so much for your support. Each and every support, it matters to us, no matter how small, how big. It matters to us a lot. So I would like to thank Dr. Olivanan sir, first and foremost, our biggest supporter from day one. He has been actually the initiator for this idea, and he supported this initiative so damn much, without which we would not, Wisdom Arcadia wouldn't exist today. So thank you so much, sir. And thank you to Jai Krish, my core committee members, Jai Krish, Haripriya, Sashi. They couldn't be here, Haripriya and Sashi, but I would like to give a huge shout out to them. They've been doing a lot of, um, how to say, a lot of things which the community needs, and feels very grateful for. The entire community feels grateful to these people. And especially, even though I'm a part of the committee, I would still feel like a part of this community. So without them, this won't happen. So I would also like to thank Yogesh and Shobhan. These people are like, they are such huge supporters of us, and they've been aiding us in the social media platform, and maintaining our social presence. They have been such a huge support. So thank you so much, Shobhan. And today Shobhan had taken up the hosting, so thank you, Shobhan, for that. And yes, with this, I we can end the meet. Thank you all.